You know the my dog is bigger than your dog or better than your dog game? Well, there's a game that sometimes people play and it's my problems are worse than yours. And I can always win that game hands down. As a matter of fact, I wrote a memoir and I sent it to a New York literary agent and she sent it back saying no one would ever believe it. The title of that book, Anything But Normal, because I look normal, right? But my life has been anything but. So that game goes something like this. Someone will say to me, "Oh, my husband is such a jerk. He never remembers my birthday or our anniversary." And I could choose to say, if I wanted to, well, hey, you think that's bad? My husband was a violent narcissist, and twice he held a loaded gun to my head. Or there's this, someone could say, I didn't have a good relationship with my father. And I could counter with, well, mine tried to indoctrinate me into Scientology. Although on the upside, he was a great guy and we had a good relationship. And then my coworker once said, oh my gosh, my son never cleans his room. And I had to hold my tongue because I wanted to say, oh, please. When you are paying for rehab and attending Al Anon because your 15-year-old is struggling with alcohol, well, then let's talk. Anyway, you get the idea. It's hard to outdrama the life that I've had, which is why I absolutely unraveled when I found myself struggling as a newly divorced woman at 60. I just felt it was so unfair after everything that I've been through, all these horrible experiences, and that now as a senior that I was having to start life over. I was older, much older than I had been, obviously, when in the younger days of dealing with trauma, $40,000 in debt and without a permanent place to live. Hi, I'm Linda, and this is Senior Life Solo Path. And it was my struggle to get back on track that led me to create this channel where I could share tips and tools that actually helped me to rebuild my life, and then to try now to give emotional support to others who also might be struggling. So if you're navigating a solo life after loss, or maybe just a major transition, this space is for you. Here I hope to offer comfort, community, and encouragement, one real conversation at a time. In today's message, I want to invite you into something that was personal for me, and that's two books that carried me through when I thought I couldn't move forward. The first one is Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Few people come close to the challenges he faced, and I needed to obviously put my problems in perspective. Frankl survived Auschwitz, the most horror that we can imagine. And he said it's about how we choose to view our circumstances and how we choose to do our responses, that in suffering, we'll have the meaning to choose our attitude. He also wrote that for those of us who have something to live for or a purpose, something beyond the pain, that those are the people that are more likely to survive. And he identified three ways. Number one, through creative work, engaging in meaningful activities with something greater than oneself. And that's my intention with this channel. Number two, love, connecting others through deep relationships and experiencing love and compassion. Also my intention. And number three, facing suffering with a courageous attitude and finding meaning in the way that we confront our challenges. Victor speaks of the freedom we have to choose our attitude and our circumstances. He shares that we can maintain a sense of spiritual freedom and mental independence. And he suggests that the ability to find or express humor can also help as a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. And I found this out firsthand because surprisingly, the more depressed I am, the more witty I am in my writing. I'd read Victor's book before, but this time his message really landed. I couldn't undo what was happening to me, but I could choose to keep going and eventually create meaning out of my loss. The second book is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And when the waves of grief pulled me under, Eckhart Tolle reminded me to stay present. Not in the past where regrets live, not in the future where the fears grow, but here, in this breath, in this moment. Toll teaches that our pain often comes from resistance to the present moment. When we stop saying this shouldn't be happening and we simply say this is, we begin to soften our suffering and we can find tiny moments of peace. Please remember that you may not get to choose what happens to you, but you can choose how you meet this moment. Grief is not something to escape, but to gently walk through with meaning as your compass. When you are feeling overwhelmed, try saying this. Say, right now I am safe. Right now I am breathing. Right now I am enough. And if the future feels too big, come back to the now. Maybe make a cup of tea, plant your feet on the floor, and that's enough for today. And maybe you're thinking, I don't feel strong enough to get through this. If that's you, I totally understand. But I believe what Viktor said, that even in our worst moments, we can find meaning. And I believe what Eckhart said too, that peace isn't in the past or the future, but right here. So breathe, my precious soul. Stay in the now and remember that you are not alone. Now, what about you? Is there a book that helped you get through your dark times? If so, we'd love to hear about it in the comment. Please subscribe or like and come back again and check in. And know that if you are struggling with grief, loneliness, or loss, this message and this channel is for you. Please comment, subscribe, and come see me again. And know that I'm here to be your cheerleader and we can get through this one small step at a time.